Okay. It appears that there's more and more information coming out about what is exactly going on over there now. And there was an intelligence report that came out just this week that basically indicated that now they perceive that Iraq is now a training ground for terrorists. And that anybody that wants to get their groove on with the United States can take it to them right over there. And that now everybody, those people who are that angry and that want to, to amp up to that level can now go to Iraq and get it on.
Yeah, that's a intelligence estimate. What they concluded was that if we complete the mission, and by the way, I'm going through that part in Clayton where 40 gets kind of low. If I lose
there are bad towers on 40.
Yeah. I know. You'd think they'd have more towers here.
Those rich people don't want them.
They didn't want Metrolink out here either, but that's a whole other subject.
Yeah.
I'm going back to my days in the Congress when I represented this part of the county. But anyway, what the National Intelligence Estimate said, their conclusion was that, look, if we complete the mission and win, it's going to be a big setback for the terrorists. If we don't, it's going to be a setback for us. And that's true, Freeman, of every front in the war on terror. That's true of Afghanistan. That's true of our foreign intelligence operations. That's true of our homeland defense. It's true of this overall communications effort we should be making in the Arab Islamic world about the values of freedom and democracy. I mean, they concluded that that we got to win. If we don't win, then that encourages the other side, and it'll be a setback for us.
Let me give you this and see how you handle it. Word in the political community is that you are feeling that this issue on the war is so hot that you may have to, in somewhat, distance yourself or distinguish yourself from President George Bush in regard to the philosophy on the war. Is that true?
No, I just keep trying to tell people what I think.
Yeah, okay.
And which is, it's a balance, and I've been saying this for 2 years. I remember in the spring or the summer of '04 when he was re-election, and the reporters would say, well, have there been mistakes? And I said, yeah, there were mistakes. They underestimated. I mean, they went in and thought that there'd be a leadership network in Iraq we could turn the country over to in a short period of time. And to be fair, Freeman, that's true in the North and South. It wasn't in the central part of the country. I mean, and we've had to really basically rebuild or build the essence of a stable democracy there, and it's been a lot harder than we thought. And the administration's responsible for that mistake. I mean, they have the authority; they have to bear the responsibility. But I think in terms of our security and our freedom, what we have to do now is finish the mission, and I think we can. And yeah, it's difficult, but I really I do think, and this is true of all the fronts in the war on terror, Freeman, I believe that we're safer being on the offensive than on the defensive. And I just think as a general rule, that's true all over.
Well, okay, let's get right to this then. What do you think about the fact that I think the last numbers I saw that 56% of the people in this country believe that going to war was the wrong thing?
Well, my sense of it is, as I get out and about, that's largely a question of how long it's taken. In other words, okay. I think people see the value of the mission, but they're upset. They want it to be done, and I don't blame them.
Okay.
Because they didn't think it'd take this long.
Okay, so now that we know that over 56% of them don't think it was the right thing to do, what are you going to do about it?
We're going to finish the mission and complete it. Which again, the big piece that requires a large number of American troops that remain is to finish the seasoning and the training of this army. There are other things that have to happen there, but the rest of the thing is going to be basically Iraqi, although what is true, Freeman, is we're going to have to continue providing logistical support, helicopters and medevacs sort of thing, and also advisors and State Department people and the rest of it. But when we get this army trained up adequately, then they'll either be able to do it or not do it on their own. And at that point, we don't need large numbers of American troops in country. Now, we'll probably continue to base some in that, somewhat more in that theater in the Mideast, maybe in Kuwait and places like that, but that's just because of the overall war on terror.
Okay. Yeah, we had a few promos running on this station indicating that you would be on with us talking about the war. A couple folks came up and said, well, I understand you got talent coming on, and why don't you ask him this? And people want to know, well, he's been a senator for almost 6 years now. What is it that he's done for the urban areas in St. Louis as well as Kansas City since he's been in office? So do you have anything you want to say about that?
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to. I'm a big, and you know this, Freeman, I'm a big believer in that we can help people access, just get into the social and economic mainstream with jobs and healthcare and the rest of it. So, the sickle cell disease bill, which is the first bill to target sickle cell in a generation, and we're getting it funded too. Funding's growing every year for that. The technical grant program for historically black colleges, I'm a big believer in those colleges, and they tell me their number one concern nationally is keeping their information technology up, because they're graduating these kids and they got to be able to use the highest technology. A bill of particular concern to the community, I think, is this bill to create. It's the Emmett Till bill, the bill to create this cold case section in the FBI and the Justice Department to go after these civil rights murders. The Healthy Marriage Program, this is going to provide $400 million over the next 5 years to help groups that are dealing with helping people form healthy relationships, fatherhood programs, and with a view towards restoring families. I'm a big believer in the Second Chance program. It's a big prisoner reentry program. And then on top of that, I'd probably get federal dollars in for key kinds of operations in the urban area. Everything from the botanical garden to the portfolio gallery, the Boys and Girls Clubs in Kansas City. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've tried to do. It's a big part of my agenda, Freeman, because this is an important part of the state. I mean, it's hugely important.
Senator, thanks
for letting me talk about it, man.
Well, I want you to be able to get that information out because those are tough questions that you need to be able to answer. But now, that's the music for the break. How much time do you have left to be with us?
Well, I'm headed over to the cathedral now. I don't know, take a few calls. I thought you wanted to do.
Yeah, I wanted to take some calls. And
why don't we take a few?
Can we take because they're telling us we got to go to a break, but I was wondering if we could maybe...
Yeah, I'll stay through the break.
Yeah, okay, and then we'll come right back and we'll have the calls, okay? Appreciate it. You're listening to the Freeman Bosley Jr. Show, St. Louis on 100.3 The Beat. On the line with us now is Senator Jim Talent, United States Senator. So he's going to take some calls from us. So keep it on lock. We'll be right back. Quit playing.